I have a good friend down in Alabama that can look at your blood all day long. It doesn't bother him at all. But he can go to the doctor, and the doctor can do a blood draw, and he's on the floor. He passes out every time he sees his own blood. Some people can't deal with it. So if you can't deal with it, it's nothing to be ashamed of. That's just the way some people are geared. For this, let's go back to your wound pouch there. And you have a pad here. Y'all don't have a triangle bandage in this? You don't, do you? No, you don't. I got you covered. I got you covered. Now get these back, okay? What do we need in there, Josh? This triangle bandage can be used for a lot of different things. We're going to use it in just a little bit to do some splinting. But right now, what I wanted to talk about on this is you can take that triangle bandage, and when I was your age, I had a professor. She was fantastic, but she was hardcore. And we'd take these triangle bandages and she'd make us fold them. Yeah, fold them. But what we wanted to do is the same thing you want to do. We'd do them like this. But that wasn't satisfactory with her. We had to fold them. You can twirl them around and make them, put them together. You can use this to bandage with. You can use this for a sling. You can use it for a wrap. Use it for different things. Controlling bleeding.
I have a question.
Yes.
How come it's shaped in a triangle to be thicker in the middle?
Because that allows you to use it as a sling to support the elbow, and the two long tails will go around the neck, and that elbow will rest right in that third corner of it. That's the best explanation I can give you. You can also use it for bandaging fingers, hands, arms, legs, head. You can make all kinds of wraps out of a triangular bandage. Okay, controlling bleeding. This could be a very serious issue if you can't control it, because the individual can bleed out on that. The first thing you want to do, if you have a situation where an individual has an open bleeder, and by the way, there's a couple things you can look at to determine exactly what kind of a bleeder you have. Like Dr. Briggs described, if it's squirting out, you've hit an artery. And every time the heart contracts, every time the heart pumps, it's pumping that blood out. If you hit a vein, the vein will not squirt, the blood flows or oozes out. Either one can be serious if it's a large loss of blood on that. So the first thing you want to do is you want to apply a clean dressing over the site where the wound has occurred, where the bleeding has occurred. And you apply direct pressure to that. And you say, well, man, if they're cut, they're bleeding, and you're going to press on it, that's going to hurt. Yeah, it may hurt, but it's going to help control the bleeding. Okay? If the blood soaks through this one, you put another one on top of it and start again. Don't take this one off, because that blood started clotting. It may not be enough to control everything, but just keep putting another one on, and you get it. The next thing that you're gonna do, you can take this wrap here. I'm gonna show you how to use this. You can take this and you can wrap that pad in place. You can use this bandage to wrap it in place. I'll show you how to put this on and how to tie. And that way you can have that direct pressure held in place. The other thing that you can do if you're still having issues is you can elevate. If there's no indication that elevating would harm the individual in any way, you can elevate, and that'll help reduce the flow of blood, because blood flowing uphill is a little bit harder than blood flowing downhill on that. One other thing, if you have a fracture and the bone has come through the limb and you have bleeding, you bandage over the bone and control the bleeding. You do not push that bone back into the body. Let's just pull that out, get it back in there. Okay, now we'll just take care of that wound. No, you do not push that bone back in. Just leave it where it's at. You let the doctors take care of that. There's all kinds of complications that you can run into with that.
So what if that's not like stabilized because it's broken?
Then we're going to splint in just a minute. Okay, good question. I need a victim. Come on up here. Again, move to where you can see on this. Can you please see that? Very good. We're going to give you one little simple one. Stand here. I'll give you a little simple one here. Y'all move around where you can see this now, okay? There's no good one position and get you in. Just cut his arm here. He got some bleeding. All kinds of war stories to tell you. This happened when I was in the 9th grade in high school. You'll like this one, Dr. Briggs. 9th grade in high school. We had 2 student teachers in physical education. And this was back when they separated the boys and the girls. So we're in class, 9th grade boys. What do you know about 9th grade boys? Y'all are 9th grade boys. Man, you guys, that testosterone's running. You're so competitive. You know, nobody's going to beat you. So these 2 student teachers had us running relays in the gym. And this was an old gym. This gym was built in the 1930s. It was built out of local stone from the field. The gym was actually a gymtorium. It was a one-size-fits-all gymnasium and auditorium together. At one end of the gym was some of these old wooden doors with this glass panes in it, like this. So they had us running relays from one end to the other. So we're running, and the finish line was the baseline of the basketball court, which was maybe 3 feet from the wall. This was an old gym. One of my friends was running, and somebody else was keeping up with him, and he's going to beat this guy, doesn't matter what. He's running full speed. He got to the end of the gym. He got to the baseline. He's running full speed. He can't stop in 3 feet. He goes forward like this. His arm goes through the window, the glass pane. It started here and came out here. He ripped his arm from the wrist to the elbow. Who knows? Who cares at that point? Everybody's panicking to try to get that blood stopped. That was the last relay race we ran. Okay. So here's what we have. It's where you can see now. You're going to be lost on this one. We have bleeding here. Make it real simple for you. So what we're going to do, I've got my gloves on. If I don't have one of these, I can just put my gloved hand over it, and I can do pressure with that. But in this case, I've got a pad. I'm going to put it over. I'm going to hold it in place and see if the blood stops. If it doesn't, I'm going to add another one on top of this, on this. But in this case, we're doing pretty good. So what I want to do is I want to get this in place. Whose is this? I got it over there. Somebody go.
Might be mine.
Okay. Hold that for me right there for a second. Hold it tight. You're bleeding. Put your hand down on it. There you go. Good. Now he can do that. It's his blood. He's not going to catch anything from himself. I'm going to start down here and I'm going to wrap this. Okay? And I want to start below so I catch it. And I want to wrap. Okay, that's good. This takes a little time, but that's okay. Hold your arm up there for me. That's good. And I want to go over the end of this, so we've covered it all. We don't want anything sticking out there. I've got a little more left. Use it all. And see how tight this is? I want to be able just to stick my finger under the edge. I want it tight, but not too tight. And here's the tricky part. Watch closely. I want to tie this together, but I only have one end. How am I going to tie this with only one end?
Pick up
You're
this
gonna you're gonna get under there.
Nope.
Nope.
I'm going to come up here.
Rip it.
Nope. Watch this. Good guess. You guys are on the ball. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to double back. That gives me one end. This is another end, isn't it? The double back on that. Come around.
Shoot. Oh, let's go.
Tie it together.
That's
There
intelligent.
it is. Now the place, I got it, this is off over the side. What you want is you want that, if you can get it, you want it over where the wound is, because again, that's additional pressure. All right, how's that feel? Is your hand getting numb?
We're losing a little circulation.
We're
but
losing a
that's
little
fine.
circulation. See the color? It's a little tight, a little tight. I can check those fingernails now. Are we getting vascular refill on that? Is the hand getting cold? We want it tight, but not too tight. Okay? And that's it.
There we go.
That's it. Feel better now? Think you're a little?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
I have my wrist taped up enough times.
Okay. All right. Question. Now the key to this one is going to be, what I want to see on this one is I want to see you bandage.
That's good.